Hello, Gavin. So nice to meet you.
Hi, Pam. Yeah, lovely to meet you face to face, of sorts.
Well, thank you for all the help that you've been giving us. I really appreciate it. And I want to tell you, we have been struggling pretty hard to find a venue. And it just happened. It was Beshet that I would be in CVS at the same time as Jeff Essico on the 13th of August, and then we got a venue. So that's the reason we had to speed things up, because I wasn't so sure how long we would have it. And so thank you. I really appreciate it. So
I'm really happy it finally got to you.
Yes, me too, because we started pre-COVID actually. So anyway, I'm sorry you couldn't be here, but with Zoom and this kind of thing, it's at least possible that you can be there without being there. So first of all, I'm curious to know, why did you choose this particular topic, 175 years of Jewish life in South Africa?
The topic came about, I was having a conversation with one of the committee members at the Garden Shul. And of course, the Garden Shul is known as the Mother Congregation. It was the very first congregation in South Africa. And the very first minyan that was ever held in South Africa formed that congregation. And we realized that the 175 was coming up, and we decided to celebrate. It's a big number. It's not, we could have waited until now to have 180 or a chai, but we decided to do 175, and it was a wonderful opportunity, and in the end it turned out to be a wonderful exhibition and a great project to work on.
Fantastic. And so where did you find the content and the images for the exhibition?
Well, once we decided that we wanted to do the story or celebrate 175 years of South African Jewish life, we always knew the exhibition was going to be in the museum, and the South African Jewish Museum already tells the story of our community. So we had to find a new approach, or a new way to share that story. And we decided to take the lived experience. Everybody knows about the machzor in our community and the major big events, but I wanted something that really spoke from year one to year now about the Joe Schmo and of South African Jewry, the people who really lived it and who are a part of it. So we went to old memoirs and diaries. We put requests out on social media for people to send us their memories and their stories. And then we compiled them all. And then I went through, we have a wonderful digital archive, which South African Jews from around the world and locally can add their own family photo albums to. So we went and used a lot of that footage, old family photographs, photos of events and organizations that we had already had on our archive. And we try to match a little bit with the images to some of the stories. And most importantly, I anonymized all the stories. I didn't want rebels. I didn't want someone to say, well, it happened this way, not that way. So we took a little bit of creative license. We took people's names and dates out of it. But we felt that the little vignettes, the little stories, the little anecdotes really sort of resonate and speak to all generations of South African Jews. Anybody who sees that exhibition is going to see a photograph or a story that they're going to remember, and it's going to elicit nostalgia. And that's what happened when the exhibition traveled through South Africa, when it was in Canada and Israel, and I'm sure it'll be the same in San Diego.
That's amazing, really. And so tell us more about the role of the project in the community.
Well, one of the lovely things about this exhibition is that it's proved to be so popular, particularly with expats. So it's created opportunities for you and I to meet, for example, and for the museum to have a much broader footprint and reach out to people who no longer live in South Africa. We've lost nearly 2/3 of our community to immigration over the years. And this exhibition is a lovely way, for people far away to reconnect with their roots, and for the museum and for us also to connect with people who left our shores but still have a love and a connection to our community.
That's amazing. And so, can you share some of the contemporary statistics about the South African Jewish community?
Yeah, so in 2019, the Kaplan Center at UCT did a survey of the community, a little bit of a census. The outcomes were a little surprising. There are roughly 55,000 Jews left in South Africa. The majority are in Johannesburg and in Cape Town, about 35,000 odd in Johannesburg, about between 12 to 14,000 in Cape Town. Durban would be the next biggest congregational community at about 2,000. Then I think Pretoria and PE are coming quite low beyond that. And then there are very few other Boere small town communities that are left. There aren't any, truly. But that said, our communities, particularly in Johannesburg and Cape Town, are very vibrant. There is something happening within the community, talks, lectures, films, weddings, bar mitzvahs, you name it. There's a very rich and active Jewish cultural life in the cities and still in South Africa, and ultimately still a very good place to live a Jewish life. I'm sitting here at my house at the moment. I'm 200 meters away from Herzliya High School, which has over 2,000 students enrolled. It is sad to have lost a lot of people to immigration, and we're going in waves. I think we'll see a few more leave in the next little while, but those of us that remain are still very active and maintaining what it means to be a South African Jew.
Well, you do a great job, and I don't know about a person who doesn't go to the museum when they actually go to Cape Town. So kudos to you for all the effort that you put in to do that. And so how can someone in the US support the museum?
Oh, thank you for asking that. We have a 501c that's based in the US. Obviously, the US dollar goes a long way in rands. And one of the major projects that our museum does is bring disadvantaged youth and school kids to the museum. We bring nearly 8,000 school kids to the museum every year. And we do this by sending actual buses out to the townships to fetch these kids from the schools. We give them a kosher meal when they're there. And for many of them, it's the only school outing they'll ever do. But more importantly for us is that these children are never knowingly going to meet a Jewish person. We have such a small geographical footprint in South Africa at the moment that these kids can go their whole lives without knowingly meeting somebody Jewish. So they have this opportunity to come to the museum. We do a wonderful program on commonality of human values and the importance of respect and tolerance and comparative religions. And they have a wonderful time. And anybody can go onto our museum website and see clips from this program. But that's what we use our funding for, to bring these kids, broaden their horizons, and let them actually meet a Jewish person and counteract a lot of negative stereotypes that are out there.
That's amazing. Can you tell us a little bit more about the archive? That really interests me a lot.
So it started off with my first or second year at the museum. A lot of people would come in, or fairly regularly, somebody would come in carrying a box of old photographs. And sadly, they had come to bury their parents or to wrap up their estate or help their parents downscale. And they had all this family memorabilia, photographs, documents, and they couldn't bring themselves to throw it out, but didn't want to take it with, and they ended up coming to the museum. And we looked at this and we said, this is the history of our community. This is family photographs in Muizenberg and on the train down to Machane, and it was vignettes, it was images of South African Jewish life, and we literally don't have the space in the museum, so we decided to build a website to host it, and everybody's family connections or collections can have their own folder. So you can have the Pamela Nathan collection, and all your family history photographs can be on there. It's not just photographs, it's films, it's birth certificates, it's memoirs, anything that relates to the history of your family. We store it onto our website. It's a specialist archivist website that we've developed. And your great-great-grandchildren, when they do a family roots project, can type in your name and it will pop up, and there will be this Pamela Nathan collection, and it will have all the photographs. I mean, obviously it takes some effort from yourself to help us digitize the photographs and tell us who's who in the photographs and where. But the more information you give, obviously, the better knowledge we have. Anyone can go look at it anytime. It's sajmarchives.com.
That's fantastic.
And for example, at the moment, we've expanded beyond just families, but into organizations as well. Our current big project is digitizing the entire history of the Cape Jewish Chronicle, which will make it all available online. We're doing projects for other organizations, the Board of Deputies, a few others as well. And hopefully this digital archive will grow into a fantastic resource of memory, and it's there for researchers, for anybody who's interested in their roots. It's a good place to start.
Well, so, that's very interesting to me, because SAJAC has been in existence for 35 years, and we have lots of photos and videos, and I'm just wondering whether that is the place to put it?
Could well be. I think for us as South African Jews, it's important to realize that we're not geographically bound by South Africa anymore. There are communities of South African Jews around the world. We'd happily host it. I'll talk to you offline, and we can.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Gavin. I so appreciate you doing this, and I know that everybody on Tuesday night will be very happy to see you, because we wanted you to be here, So it's just another form, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you to you and to SAJAC and everybody else involved for hosting the exhibition. I hope everybody who's there on Tuesday night appreciates the amount of work that Pam went in. Please go over and congratulate her, and enjoy the exhibition, really. And
yes, we will.
When you are in Cape Town again, please do pop in and say hello to us at the museum.
I certainly will do that. Thank you.